It's all come down to the final day of the regular season of the Premier League competition. Only one spot is up for grabs, and Hills can play a part in that. Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, wherever you are around the country, and welcome to live softball action. Eric Ballnar here calling the action with Lee Hull.
How are you, Eric? And good afternoon, everyone.
And Steph Trzynski.
Hey there, Eric.
What's happening? There's a lot going on in this game here. Hills, it's pretty simple. If they win and Walkerville lose, Hills make the 4. If Hills lose this game, they're out. That's really what's on the line. Every other place is solidified. Sturt have won the minor premiership. They're going to play your West Torrens Eagles in that qualification semifinal. So yeah, it's pretty simple, right? Will Hills need to win?
Absolutely. So Hills want to sneak into that last spot for the finals. They absolutely can with a win here, and hope that Walkerville don't pick up any points in the next game, whether that be a draw or a win. They can absolutely find that 4th spot, and that's due to their really good runs against at the moment. Is sort of keeping them in the mix.
Hills have yet to win a game in 2022. It's been a kind of a tough second half for them, but they've been close in a couple games, but this one close won't count. They need to get across the line. Meanwhile, on the Sturt side of things, defensively, they're going with a couple different looks in their lineup, trying to tune their way up for that finals run, looking to defend their championship lead. Take us around the diamond of Sturt.
I will. Thank you, Eric. At first base, it's Maddie Ashby. Second base, Rachel Tonkin. Third, Neve Adams. Shortstop, it's Pearl White, of course. And the outfield from left to right, Lauren Jury, Maddie Cameron's back, and Beck Jury. So the jury's either side of Maddie. And the pitching is Tash Straps to Sarah Tonkin, of course. This is game 73 of the season. Marvellous where those games are going, isn't it?
And Tash Straps pitching, she was quite effective a couple games ago. She's got a few innings lately with Millie Fidge not pitching, and she's been around for a while. She's a very capable pitcher.
Yeah, Tash has definitely got a bit of experience up her sleeve. She's pitched at a heap of different levels. She's even pitched over at Gillies at Nationals, so she's got a lot of experience. She's going to bring a lot of level-headedness to this Sturt side today.
No Millie Fidge in the lineup. No Indigo Beck de Silva in the lineup. Meanwhile, the batting lineup for Hills, Abby Jorgensen will lead things off. Georgia Ballard will follow. The middle of the lineup, Megan Williams, Peyton Daniels, and Danny Perez. Marley Hards makes a return to the lineup, and we get the debut of, well, our first look, at least on the stream, of Ebony Behringer batting 7th. Chantel Lewis, the pitcher for today's game, and Maddie Rocher will round out the lineup. For Hills, they've kind of had to patch together some lineups as of late. They only have one player that's played 20 games this season, so it's that consistency that they're struggling to find, but they're still in the mix at the very end of the season.
Yeah, Hills are going to be looking to draw us upon some performances all season long. We've seen that, but there's going to be a few out-of-place people today, or an opportunity for some people to step up and really do something good for their team today.
Sturt are the minor premiers for a reason, Lee Hull.
They've got every base covered, Eric and Steph, and they're going to take a power beating. We don't know when Millie's coming back, Millie Fidge, but my word, didn't her younger sister, Ruby, pitch a storm last week? 1 run against West Torrens, against the might of the West Torrens hitters, and that she was really impressive. So they've got the pitching covered.
Tash Straps and Poppy Carmen, 2 other pitchers on this side, and maybe that pitching depth might need to, well, shine some light here.
Poppy's going to college.
Poppy's gone to college, so Tash Straps is going to be maybe key down in this final stretch.
Yeah, absolutely. She's a really handy player. She can do a little bit of everything, so someone like Tash is a really good asset to have on your team.
A thinking pitcher, isn't she, Steph? She thinks about her game.
Absolutely.
Batter's only hitting .225 against Tash Straps this year. She's got an ERA of 1.42. Sturt, as a whole, have a team ERA of 1.65. They don't allow a lot.
No.
Abby Jorgensen leads things off for Hills. And we're underway.
Pretty warm day to be playing today.
Great location there by Tash, just finding that outside corner. Sarah Tonkin behind the plate is going to be an absolute asset for them too. Really heads-up catcher down there will definitely work good sides of the plate.
With no Georgia Hood in the lineup, Abby Jorgensen assumes the #1 batter on this squad in terms of percentages. She's hitting .425 on the season. A lot of them singles, but she gets on and she can fly around the base paths.
Yes, it's a shame for Hoods that they lost about Christmas time, George, and of course they lost Amber, who went over to West Orange, is playing terrific softball for the Eagles. So 2 people like that, the sisters, big hole in your team, isn't it?
Great pitch there by Tash Straps to get Abby Jorgensen swinging to start the game off.
Yeah, seem to be very similar pitches, every one of them, to me.
Georgia Ballard up to bat. And she'll watch it drift a little bit outside. Lots on the line for Hills this afternoon. And the first ball in play, it'll be a base hit. Georgia Ballard finds a gap up the middle of the diamond, and it's the first base runner for the Hills.
Lots on the line here, obviously, for the Hills heat, but it's still a really important game for Sturt. They're going to want to go into the finals on a bit of a winning streak. They're going to want to build that good momentum and bring that straight into the games, into the final series. So still a really important game for Sturt, not something they should overlook.
Megan Williams showing button on the first pitch, popped up. A good charge in there from Neve Adams.
Yes, you don't want to be flirting with your form this late in the season, do you? Excellent effort from Neve. Very good young player, strong player.
Look at the leading team's replay.
Huge arm.
Looked like Neve got there a bit sooner than she realised, or maybe the ball got to her a little bit sooner.
Williams puts it towards the outfield. Lauren Jury reaching back, makes the grab. So Georgia Ballard has to retreat. And it's 2 down. Look at the leading team's replay. A nice play from Lauren Jury out in the outfield coming up. Or maybe not.
On her tippy toes then, Lauren, wasn't she? Getting that. Good catch.
Peyton Daniels.
Geez, Sarah Tonkin's a very good catcher, isn't she? Steph, you've pitched to her in state under 19s from my memory, and she is a really good catcher.
Yeah, pitched to Sarah plenty of times over the years.
Yep.
Absolutely energetic little pocket rocket down there. She's really good, moves around the plate really well.
Daniels leads the team in extra base hits, and that would go down pretty well right now. She had that clutch finals run last year when Hills made it all the way to the grand final before losing to Sturt, the team they're playing today. Chases after it. Neve Adams gets called off by Belinda White, and she makes the play. So it's 3 outs and 4 batters, and Hills are retired early on. Well, we'll now get a look at Sturt's offensive attack, and it is a strong batting lineup. Sarah Tonkin will lead things off. Neve Adams, Belle White, and Maddie Cameron pack a punch as the 2, 3, 4 hitters. Tash Straps has had a rejuvenated season this year at 5, and Lauren Jury, Beck Jury follow things up at 6, 7, and then the young Maddie Ashby at 8, and Rachel Tonkin moved to number 9. Lee, how about around the diamond for Hills defensively?
Yes, thank you, Eric. It's first base for the Hills team. It's Megan Williams. Second, Marley Hards. Nice to see her back, as Steph mentioned. Peyton Daniels at third. Danny Perez is at shortstop. Left field is Abby Jorgensen. Maddie Rocha at centre field. And Ebony Barringer at right field.
As a team, Sturt hitting .305 as a group. They've got 3 players hitting above the 300 mark to keep an eye on, and that is Maddie Cameron, Belinda White, and Sarah Tonkin.
I'll just go around the umpires if I've got the moment. Eric, on plate it's Kevin, the APY Lands ambassador, Tanner Bring. At first base it's David.
Just David.
No. David, Lieutenant Borovnik. I'll explain that after. And at third base, it's Brett Sleeve, the Sleeve Tyler. Show us your tats.
Oh, Lee, you're getting better and better at that.
Of course.
You're leaving us hanging there, though.
Yeah, well, I was just trying to get my brain
He
into
was
gear.
creating the suspense.
No, I wasn't. I was trying to get my brain
David.
into gear. That's the actual truth. There's people that know me well know I do not lie.
So why is it David Lieutenant Borovnik?
Left. Lieutenant is left first base. David's given a few people out for leaving first base, so think about it.
I
think that's clever.
In a very roundabout way, yes. We'll give it.
Lieutenant. You get that, Steph? Do you?
Yep, I got it.
Roger. That'll be a new one next week.
Sarah Tonkin up to bat. Next week we have finals, Lee, so you got to bring your A game.
I will. Try to.
Not that you don't all the time anyways. Tonkin, a dangerous bat, hitting over 300 this season.
Up the middle hitter, and she's there when she's going off the good pitches. Cracking shot. She hits the ball hard.
Tonkin chases after that. Chantel Lewis pitching in today's game.
Experienced pitcher, Chantel.
She's pitched just one inning of Premier League level this season. And she gets the call in the circle in their most important one of the season.
Had a child not that long ago. How long ago was it, Steph, do you think?
Just before Christmas, I
Just
think.
before Chrissy?
Yep, she's looking pretty good for a new mama out there,
Mm-hmm.
I'd say. Tell you what, Sarah's doing a great job here as a leadoff. I think she's one of those hitters that are equally as aggressive as she is patient.
Yep. Yeah.
So
That's another place where she does it. The inside pitch, or it's up in the inside.
Yeah.
She'll pull it to the left field foul area. That's an excellent point you made, Steph. She's got the patience. She's a terrific number one batter.
Yeah.
Like Amber's turned out to be for you.
Yeah, well, you'll see Sarah is not scared to go over that first pitch or to go early in the count, but she's also got 17 walks on the season, so she's got a pretty good eye. She knows how to get herself on base.
Yep.
She fouls that one off and keeps herself alive.
Taking a lot of pitches.
That's what you want from your leader. Get your money's worth when you go out there to bat, especially lead off.
Goes after another one and pulls it foul.
See, I'd throw outside to her, to Sarah. She'll probably go up the middle with it. Having said that, but I don't like her getting full power on the swing. Just a thought.
Tonkin goes after a high one. It's rolled over towards short. Danny Perez makes the play across the diamond. Megan Williams steps on the bag, and it's one down.
Good pitch, wasn't it?
Couldn't get her range of power there.
No.
Neve Adams, the next batter.
Yeah, that was a great start there by Chantel to get that lead off. It's really key in this Sturt Falcons lineup that has so much depth is to try and keep that lead off base. It sort of takes away that little bit of flexibility that Sturt can start doing some funky stuff with the bat early on.
Mm-hmm.
Chantel is a little bit like a Tash Straps, where she's super nifty, really experienced pitcher, but also can do a little bit of everything in the field. She can play shortstop, she can play first base, and brings quite a bit of experience to the team. So I find her and Tash quite comparable players as well.
Neve Adams taking a couple pitches early on. You mentioned key with Sturt is don't let those early base runners. They're hitting 374 as a team when they have a runner in scoring position.
Yeah, you've got White and Cameron coming. You don't want too many on in front of them.
This is popped up towards left field. Abby Jorgensen moves under. She was a late move in the lineup over towards left field, a late swap with Maddie Rocher. Either way, it's 2 down. Well, that's key. They leave the bases clear for Belinda White, who is putting together a pretty remarkable season. Hitting .559 on the year. She's got 16 extra base hits. 3 of them are home runs.
Last week she had a super game at shortstop. I think she was involved in about 6 or 7 plays. It was terrific, and her counterpart, Lana Kaiser, did the same thing. Didn't she, Steph, for the Eagles last Saturday?
Yes.
Both had, it was all about those two, I reckon.
Yep, they were vacuums at shortstop last week. Just sucked everything up in their sights and then spat it straight back out over at
Oh,
first
I like
base.
that. I like that, Steph.
You're welcome, Lee. You can use that one.
No, I won't be.
Oh.
This middle part of the Sturt lineup of Belle White and Maddie Cameron.
Batty. Could you
Batty.
imagine a Belle and Maddie
That's
hybrid? Like a love child of Belle and Maddie.
I don't want to imagine that because it's already scary enough. They've combined to drive in over half of Sturt's runs this year.
Good job, Batty.
Batty. New nickname. New
That's a good one,
softball's
Eric.
Brangelina. It's Batty.
You can keep that one. That's very good, Eric.
They really are quite the 3-4 punch. Having them after each other in the lineup really means as a pitcher you're going to have to throw to both of them. You can't really just pitch around them when they're back-to-back like that.
They offer each other each a little bit of protection.
Great spot there by Chantel. I tell you what, she doesn't look phased out there in the mound, does she, Eric? She looks pretty comfortable, like she's been doing this her whole life.
Looks like she's been part of the team all season.
Well, she's been out here cheering the team on, so she probably feels like she's right at home. So it's good to see her out in the circle again.
Well, Belle White walks. Something she does a lot of as well, or she can do a lot of. She's got 7 walks. That's 3rd on the team. On base percentage of over .600 this season.
Not bad.
Worth keeping.
And 1/2 of Batty is aboard. So now Maddie, who's hitting .455 this year and leads the team in runs batted in with 27. Belle White's second with 25. The next closest after that is Tash Straps with 12. And these two players are pacing the offense. If you can shut down these two, your chances of winning increases, but that is a little bit easier said than done.
It certainly is. I've noticed Maddie's batting this year is more patient. Normally she'd go, last season, she'd go the first pitch irrespective of where it was. But
Well, when you're hitting 600 odd on the season, I'd probably take those odds too,
yeah,
Lee.
yeah.
In a season here, though, where you do play each other so many times, you do get to learn the hitters and to learn what sort of pitches they do and don't
Yeah.
like to hit. So I think probably after that huge season she had last year, some of the pitchers probably, or the pitchers and the other teams probably took the time to study her a little bit more and figure out how they can get her to pop up or ground out.
Yep.
This Sturt offense leads the competition in hits, leads the competition in extra base hits, leads the competition in times on base. And Maddie Cameron to left field. A good effort from Jorgensen, and Maddie Cameron is going to drive in another run. Her team leading 28th RBI, and this killer combo strikes again.
Great shot there by Maddie. You can see here on the replay, she just got all of that. Abby Georgeson pretty close to it out there in left field, just lost it right at the last second. But it was a great hit down the line by Maddie.
It's power, isn't it? It's pure power and timing with Maddie then.
Yeah, she's a strong gal.
Fortunate thing for the Hills, there was only one person on base when that hit came. Bases were loaded, there would have been at least 2 home.
Tash Straps next up.
Good catching.
Ooh, try to get a cheap pick out over there at second base. Love a catcher that's not afraid to throw the ball around.
It's just knowing the base runners, isn't it, really?
I'd like to think Maddie's been around the park enough to not get picked off like that.
No. Same with Bell when Georgia Ballard went to try and pick her off at first. That's the last thing I'll be doing because Bell was not going to get picked off at first.
Straps puts it in play, and it knocks off the player, but that went foul anyways.
Got to shut them down now, the Hills, don't they? Get Tash out.
They are hitting, as I mentioned earlier, 374 with runners in scoring position. This is the first time they've had a runner in scoring position. Maddie Cameron scored Belle White from first.
The Hills had settled for 1 run against them in first innings, if it happens. And it has.
A big strikeout from Chantel Lewis. Just the 3-4 batters, Belle White and Maddie Cameron, do the damage, and Sturt have hit the front. You're watching live softball action from the Premier League competition in South Australia. It's Sturt 1, Hills nothing. Tash Straps back in the circle for Sturt Falcons, who have a 1-0 lead thanks to a Maddie Cameron RBI and an early first pitch hit by pitch on Danny Perez. So get on base any way you can right now, and Hills have a leadoff base runner for the first time today.
Tash not looking super phased by that one, just a little bit of slip of the fingers, I'm guessing. But that brings up to bat Marley Hards for her first at-bat in the Premier League this season. Marley, out of Mildura or Sunraysia County, has played plenty of softball in her time. Up for the weekend, so thought she would put on a jersey and play for the Hills. Great pick up there by Sarah. Ooh.
Testing it down the line. Maddie Ashby bringing that in.
Good batting, good discipline. Experienced player, as you mentioned, Steph, Marley.
Yeah, she's been on her fair share of South Australian state representative teams over her time.
Reaches down, scooped over to that weird spot over by first base, and Rachel Tonkin ranges over and makes the first out of the inning.
Yeah, just dipped underneath that one, allowed Rachel time enough to scurry on over to the line, pluck that one out of the air.
Another newbie for us, Ebony Berenger Lee.
Yes, from Tasmania, I believe. Played in the state system in Tassie. I can place the name, but I can't remember her exactly, like in my travels. State. We're soon going to find out. Looks like she's got some strength about her.
Good eyes there to leave that one. Interesting move by Hills to not bunt Marley probably in that situation with the leadoff runner on, none out, down by 1 run. So they're obviously backing their hitters to get the job done with the long bat. Good cut there by Ebony.
Yeah, lengthy
Just
swing.
missed it. Yeah. It is interesting to note that Hills have had their fair share of players on their team this year. They've really been quite resourceful in their club. You can see that they've used over 20 21 players on the roster so far. I don't know if that includes Ebony and Marley today, so there could be up to 23 players on their current roster in comparison to some of the other teams in the competition are all sat around 16 or 17.
And they were hit, in fairness, with the COVID situation.
They were indeed, yeah, earlier in February, end of January, early February.
Yep.
They had quite a few missing in action due to isolation requirements.
That makes it difficult to get your best side out
Absolutely.
there.
I think there'll be teams out there that are wrapping themselves in cotton wool over the next couple of weeks.
Yep.
Great eyes there, but also great pitch by Tash, really just to sort of tempt Ebony with that pitch. As a pitcher, Lee, you'll like this one. My job normally is for a game, or any pitcher's job, generally is to throw as least strikes as possible in a game. That's my goal. I want to throw as little strikes as possible. I want to tempt those hitters to swing at balls.
That's it, isn't it? It's a game of cat and mouse, isn't it?
Absolutely.
Pitcher versus the pitcher and catcher versus the batters. Yes, it's as I've said before many times, I'd like to go out with a roving mic and talk to the on-deck batters and just ask them, what is this pitcher throwing in this game today?
Great eyes there by Ebony to snag herself a base.
And I'd like to get what answers I get back, apart from, huh? I might get that a couple of times, but you've got to know, you've got to be armed, don't you, Steph? I mean, you hit the ball as hard as anybody when you're going, but you've got to be aware of what this pitcher can throw.
So that brings Chantel Lewis up to bat with runners on 1 and 2, 1 out. So she's been doing it on the mound. Can she do it in the bat, Eric?
We will find out. A runner in scoring position. This is the first time they've had a runner past first base. A hit by pitch and a walk. Hills in a must-win game. That statement is often used and misused in sport.
Yep.
And overused in terms of a must-win game, but this literally is a must-win game. If they don't win, their season will for sure end. They need to win and get some help as Lewis swings through that. 2 strikes on her.
Just on the pitching again, pitchers will have a go-to pitch for this particular game. Something that's working in the warm-up, and that's what you've got to be aware of when you're batting. Get behind the count. This pitcher that's pitching to me will come back with that go-to pitch.
They're taking a few pitches here.
Yeah, Hill's doing a good job to identify those pitches that they want to hit and they want to leave. Well, she wanted to hit that. You can tell she had a hitter's mindset. Something we talk about a lot, coming up to the bat, going, I'm swinging, I'm swinging, I'm swinging until I'm not. And that's exactly what Chantel looked like then.
On the full count, and the bases are loaded. 2 walks and a hit by pitch. You can't defend walks, and now it's a big opportunity for Maddie Rocher at the bat.
Here's their chance. Maddie's a good player.
Offense has been tough to come by in the new year for Hills. Rocher takes a cut. 1 swing of the bat can break it open just a little bit here.
It can, but Maddie's just got to realise, I've just got to get it, see if I can get it the land out there, short of the outfield, score at least 1.
Rocher puts the ball in play. White makes the toss at third. They'll concede the run, but they get one of the leading 2 runners.
Great play there. Great heads-up play there by Bell to take that pitch off to the side, recognized she didn't really have a play at home plate. That would have been a really difficult play to her to make, but quickly identified somewhere she could get an out. And as you can see, runner at third base took off instantly on that pitch.
Abby Jorgensen leads the team in batting average of players available to them. And she'll have an opportunity to still cash in a run. Either way, Hills have equalized, so it is a 1-1 game on your scoreboard. Well, it's a 1-1 game in reality, not on your scoreboard.
Great change of pace there by Tash. She notoriously has quite a good little change up, a little bit of natural topspin, bit of a likes to mix it up a little bit, change speed, so it was a great pitch there by Tash.
Jorgensen cracks one down the line.
Just foul, wasn't it? Better.
By about a foot.
Yeah, about a foot. 1/3 of a metre or something.
And that would have scored those 2 runs on base easily.
They're threatening big time here, the green team.
Still 2 outs on the board.
Well, Abby Jorgensen is 3rd in the league for hitting average at the moment. So if there's anyone out that I want in the box for the Hills heat, it's Abby Jorgensen right now. Knowing that she struck out her first at-bat too, so she'll be up there with a bit of vengeance.
It's the only strikeout in the first 9 batters of the game, from the Hills' perspective at least. Takes one inside, evens up the count.
Throwing a bit of variety here, Tash, to Abby.
Great discipline there by Abby.
Well, a base hit could score both the runs. Full count situation. Runners take off. Jorgensen into left field, and leaping over is Lauren Jury. Hills load them up. They only score 1 on the fielder's choice, but they're in this ball game with their first run on the board. So Sturt's time to respond. Games, 7 innings, or they are 90 minutes long, and we've played 30 minutes so far. So off to a decent pace so far. We'll get our first look at the 2 juries, followed by Maddie Ashby in this bottom part of the Sturt lineup. Other games later today, the big one that Hills will be watching, provided they win, will be West Torrens playing Walkerville. It's a must-win game potentially for Walkerville, or it's one that they already know they're in the finals. They'll be watching this game closely.
Jackie Beale still injured, Steph, as far as you know?
I'm not at liberty to disclose that on camera, Lee.
Oh, okay. Then I will. I'll say she won't play.
Moving into the pointy end of the season.
West Torrens looking to get some good vibes going into the finals run. Not that there aren't good vibes already.
Here's the girl that can hit the ball long, Lauren Jury.
A Lee Hill favorite?
Well, I've seen how much power she's got.
I think pretty much all of Sturt can hit the ball long.
Yeah, well, that's true. But for her size, she's just like a little pocket dynamo. It'll go deep to left field. Abby, on your bike. She hits it. Or it hits her.
Catches the edge. First strike on the board. 1-1 count.
Good pitch, wasn't it? Just out of her reach. Couldn't commit to the swing. She'll get one she likes, though.
That wasn't it.
Dip, didn't it? It was a good dipper.
Lauren Jury puts the ball in play. It's a slow roller, scooped up by Perez. But good hustle from Lauren Jury, and she's aboard. Look at the leading team's replay.
I tell you what, Danny Perez over there at shortstop did nothing wrong on that one. She
No.
attacked it. She had a really quick transition, didn't take that extra step, threw it off her back leg. That ball was just hit a little bit too slow, and Lauren Jury had a little bit too much speed.
Yep. It's just leg speed got her.
Not much she could have done about
No,
that one.
no.
So you'll see in this situation with 1 out. 1 out? No, none
None out.
There's none out. So you can see Beck Jury squared around to bunt. Move her sister over to 2. See if she does it again this pitch.
Showing bunt, playing bunt, but it goes foul.
So Sturt obviously working hard to manufacture some runs early on here. Playing a little bit more of a tactical game to get themselves in front. Which to me just shows a little bit of respect really to Hills Heat, knowing that Chantel Lewis is obviously pitching well. Hills are going to, Sturt are going to pull every trick in their playbook to try and manufacture a run here.
I'd steal here. Got leg speed, Lauren.
Georgia Ballard's no slump behind the dish over there either, though. Great little catcher.
Well, this will change the equation as the second strike on the board versus Beck Jury.
I'd love to see Coach Justina Adams put that third strike bunt on her again. So this is what you need to do for the team. Obviously, fouling that third strike bunt is strike 3 and you're out in softball, for those of you not aware.
But you'd like the aggression.
Yeah, for sure.
Sometimes you do that as a coach. Somebody's not batting too well, they're having swings all over the place. Then you call hit and run on them, and guess what? They hit the ball right up the middle. Happens that many times. Don't give them another choice.
Nubbed off foul. So a lengthy at bat that Beck Jury making Chantel Lewis go through the paces.
Yeah, she's seen some pitches there and that one there. A little bit off the plate, did a good job just to sort of punch it foul. Wasn't ready to leave it up to Mr. T as to whether it was a strike or a ball. So just punch that foul, saying that's not quite the pitch I want.
Just need to get the ball in the play, doesn't she, really? She doesn't have to overhit it. Just put the ball on the deck and let's see her field it.
And advance that runner.
Yep.
Great eyes there by Beck.
Count is full. Runner on first. The Jury sisters causing a bit of havoc right now for Hills. Beck Jury up the middle. Lewis checks at second, but makes the throw to first. So the runner advances after all of that lengthy battle.
And the Jury's out. Beck, that is.
Just one of them. Maddie Ashby, the new batter.
So with one out and a runner on base, a couple key at-bats here for Sturt Falcons. They're 8-9 hitters. If they can convert one of these girls to a... As she pops that up foul, Georgia Ballard's got it. And
called off Megan Williams, yeah.
Megan Williams going to take a great and crucial catch in foul territory.
First pitch, I don't like that. I'll be putting more pressure on the pitcher. Take some pitches.
Leading team's replay shows a good hustle.
Yeah,
great
excellent.
Heads up. Yeah,
excellent
great
out.
heads up take there by Megan.
She's a very good, experienced player, isn't she, Megan?
So crucial at bat here for Rachel Tonkin. If she can get herself on base, that'll turn over the top of the Sturt lineup with runners on third base now, by the looks of it.
Yeah, pass ball puts Lauren Jury just one base away. Every run so important for Hills.
Sensible batter, Rachel Tonkin. I'm impressed with her this season, batting at 9. Look up, she gets on base a lot, she brings runs in. Just the ideal person batting at 9 for them.
Watches one up high, but it goes called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Tonkin puts it in play. Daniels gathers across the diamond, a play she absolutely had to make, and she does. So Sturt have gone through their lineup exactly once. They've managed to score 1 run. We've played 2. We're all tied up in a do-or-die game for Hills Heat. We'll be back. Back at the softball South Australia complex on beautiful Ghana land. Eric Ballner, Lee Hull, Steph Drzezinski calling the action for you. It is a 1-1 game and one that Hills really do need to win. They've pitched well. Chantel Lewis allowed just the 1 run in her first 9 batters that she's faced. Hills have thrown 10 to the plate, and they've scored 1 run as well. Bit of small ball.
And during the break, it's the assistant coach in this game, Kate Saporsky, is having a long discussion with Kevin Tannering about some changes that'll be happening. So we look. Tracy Apolsey's taken over the head coaching in this game.
Out was 12. In is 41. Out is 17. In is 46. Positionals 4 to 3. 3 to 5. 5 to 1. 1 to 7. 7 to 4. Happy?
No.
Did you get all that? Yeah, you can hear that through the mic. So, Lee, take us through some of the changes.
Oh, yeah, sure. Have you got an hour?
Yeah, we do. So Marley Hards is out.
Yep.
And
In comes
Sasha Penglaze is in.
Yep.
Megan Williams moves to second.
No, before that, Chantel Lewis is out and Mackenzie Ween is in. And then it's 4 to 3, 3 to 5, 5 to 1, 1 to 7, 7 to 4. Thank you and good night, ladies and gentlemen. That's a few changes, isn't it?
So Penglaze is going to move to first. Not that they're fielding right now. As Ballard puts it at the middle. Bell White made the play, but they couldn't finish it off. A great diving stop. But the leadoff runner is aboard again.
Gee, how good was that play from Bell? My goodness. Nearly another hit up the middle by George.
Still a hit up the
Yeah.
middle too, wasn't it? You'd be
Yeah.
hard done by to credit anyone with an error on that play.
No, I've given her a hit the 6.
Would have been a spectacular play if they pulled that off.
Yeah.
Throw was from the knees. Megan Williams now as a leadoff runner again. She's showing bunt. She drops the bunt, moving over to make the play. One down runner off the bag slightly, but Ballard will step in okay.
Neve Adams did a great job over there at third base just to swoop that up, make that throw off that wrong foot straight to our second base player over there, Rachel Tonkin, who instantly identified that Georgia Ballard probably took a few too many steps off second base, tried to back pick, but luckily got there just in time.
Peyton Daniels now up to bat, the new pitcher in the game.
I see that. I do see that in all the changes. There was quite a few of them there, wasn't there?
It's a lot to follow. We'll try to break it down in the half inning of what has happened. We'll walk everybody through them.
After we've broken down.
So big opportunity here for Hills to score another run on the board.
Daniels, ball in play. Adams holds the runner, and the ball slips away. So it'll be runners on second and third on the misfire. And this is a little bit of a window now. Here's a look at the leading team's replay.
Yeah, again, another great swoop by Neve Adams as she cuts across that sort of 5-6 hole. Chases Abby back to the base and then tries to make that throw over at 1. Just slips out of her hands. A little bit too high for Maddie Ashby to handle.
Well, they're giving Maddie Ashby a workover in this innings, aren't they?
Yeah, someone who hasn't spent a huge amount of time at first base this season, at least not in the Premier League.
No.
Typically spending a bit of time out in left field. So still a regular, but finding herself in a new position as Tash Straps has moved over to pitch in the temporary, potentially, absence of Millie Fidge. Great pick there by Sarah and great pitch on Tash's behalf too.
Runners, 2 of them in scoring position.
There's that change of pace again by Tash. Not afraid to throw it, and Sarah Tonkin behind the dish, not afraid to call it either.
I think it's one of her best pitches when she's going, Tash. It's the off pace.
Perez chases a high one. Evens up the count.
Well, this is what happens with a young player like Danny, isn't it? She sees 2 runners in scoring position, go for the big tilt. You know, just need to make it land somewhere. One will score for sure.
Tash saw Danny swing at that rise ball earlier, tried to challenge her again, but Danny kept a level head that time and didn't let the pitch fool her.
On the full count, Danny Perez just staying alive.
Great eyes there. Oh.
For the second straight inning, it's going to be bases loaded with just one out. Errors, walks, hit by pitch. In the last 2 innings, only the one infield hit that Hills have managed to gather, and they've scored that run.
Third base on balls.
And Sasha Penglaze, who just enters the game now, finds her first at-bat with loaded bases and 1 out.
In a vital situation in the whole context of the season. Swings at the first pitch. Belle White, it goes between her legs. 1 run is going to score. Daniels getting around third.
First pitch.
And
Good hit, wasn't it?
2 RBIs is going to come through there on a very rare misplay in the infield. Wow.
And then Lauren Jury out there in left field probably wasn't expecting that ball to make it to the outfield. Looked a little bit surprised. Maddie Cameron had to swoop up behind her.
Look at the leading team's replay, maybe. Put the ball in play and good things can happen, right?
Yep. Yeah, put the ball on the deck. That's the main thing.
Just goes to show everyone, kids, that everyone's human. Looks like there might have been a little bit of a less than ideal bounce. But potentially Belle was thinking about making that play before she had it, I don't know, or it just sat down and maybe it looked like it hit the ground and sped up a little bit.
It took a funny little hop.
It did take a funny
because her hands were up and then all of a sudden.
It was below them.
Let's get a look at that again.
Big opportunity here for the Heels though. So as you were saying, Eric, there's been a few errors, a few walks, a few hit by pitches, a couple miscues. For Sturt, a little bit uncharacteristic for them. Usually a pretty tidy team. But I tell you what, it's nothing that the top hitting side in the competition can potentially handle. So they're probably sitting back thinking that we know our bats can back this up. Let's just get ourselves out of this inning.
Well, you mentioned,
what we do best.
that they are the tidiest team in the competition. Only 30 errors in the competition. That is the least. No, never mind. Second, 39 errors. West Torrens have 30 errors. They're the tidiest defensive team.
Go Eagles.
Go Eagles. But the point is they don't make a whole lot of errors. This to the outfield, and Belle White makes the play. Runners will hold.
She was more than ready to swoop that ball up over there. Belinda White covering a bit of ground.
Mackenzie Ween coming in. She was the substitute for Chantel Lewis. She'll be taking the field as Peyton Daniels will be moving over to pitch. Only played a couple games this season, Mackenzie Ween. But 2 runners in scoring position in Hills in a game they absolutely need to win. They haven't won a game in 2022. Taking it to the minor premiers right now.
Tash relying on that little bit of a rise ball today. Nice little something different for her.
Trying to buy some cheap outs.
Yeah, seems to be getting some swing and misses. Notoriously has a good top spin, good drop ball, good changeup.
Over towards third. Adams across the diamond makes the play. But a couple errors, a walk, and that spells a little bit of trouble for Sturt and Hills. They've scored 3 unanswered, and they have their first lead of the game. So now we can make our way through some of these changes, Lee. What do we got? Lay it on us here. What on earth happened?
Well, let's have a look when they go out. It'll probably be easier, won't it?
Well, what'd you write down? Let's see if we can make it out for everybody.
Well, okay, we went 4-3.
So we had, but Penglaze came in from Marley Hards,
That's
and then
correct.
Penglaze goes to first base. So
Yeah.
Penglaze is at first.
Lewis goes out.
Yep.
Ween comes in, and Ween goes to left field, I think. 1-7.
So Ween is now in left field.
Yep.
And Abby Jorgensen is?
7 goes to 4, which is second base. Abby goes to second base. What have I got here? 5 to 1. So that means
Peyton Daniels is pitching.
And Maddie Hards, Marley Hards even.
Is out of the game.
Out of the game, but
Megan.
4 to 3 goes
So
to
Megan Williams is going to third.
Yeah, that's the second or the third. Yep.
So the game started off from left to right in the infield. Daniels, Perez, Jorgensen, Williams. Now the defensive configuration, left to right, is Williams, Perez, Jorgensen, and Penglaze. The catcher, Georgia Ballard, stays the same. The shortstop, Danny Perez, stays the same. Peyton Daniels is now pitching in relief of Chantel Lewis. Maddie Rocher and Ebony Behringer, so your center fielder and right fielder, remain the same, but Mackenzie Ween is now in left field. It is literally 5 players. Over half of their defensive alignment has changed.
See Peyton Daniels taking on pitching duties now for the Heat. I tell you what, we've talked a little bit about pitchers who are true utility players, people like Chantel and Tash Stripes. Peyton Daniels absolutely fits that mold. You see her pitching, but she's very solid third base, very solid catching. I think I've even seen her in shortstop before, so she can do a little bit of everything. So great to see her stepping up for a team where they need her in the circle today.
Sarah Tonkin leads things off. She is the leadoff hitter. She grounded out to shortstop in her first at-bat.
So this obviously the last minor round game, Eric, for the Premier League, but across the rest of the competition today was the first day of semi-finals. So a big day for all the other teams out there. Also out in other associations. This morning I know I was out at Gula Districts and watched some of the under-14 semi-finals this morning.
How'd some of them go? What can you report for us?
A little bit of an upset out in
an upset?
Yeah, absolutely. So there was a 1v2 semi-final game in under-14s. One team has won every single game for the season.
But not anymore?
Seed. No, but they dropped their first semi-final.
Ooh.
Yeah.
They have the double chance.
To Trinity. So Giants have to go through the prelim. Trinity is straight through to the grand final. So big shout out to Trinity under-14s out there in Gula. Well done, girls. And boys. There's girls and boys in that team.
Pulling off the upset, Tonkin walks. What about around here? How have your any word on how your Eagles have done today?
I know the under-14 Eagles also won their semi-final and are straight through to the grand final. No word. I'm not sure how some of the other teams around the park have gone though. There's a lot happening this morning, today.
Central Districts didn't play today. Holiday weekend.
Of course, for the long weekend on Monday.
Yep.
Neve just tries to put down a bunt.
It is final silly season in the Diamond sports community right now.
Silly season. Love that.
A little bit of chaos happening everywhere.
Ooh.
Adams.
In the box, says Mr. T, that ball Neve has bunted down to come back and hit her in the helmet. But her feet were still safely in the box, so that's just a foul on the hitter. Of course, if her feet were outside of the box and the ball hit her in the head, she would be out for batting out, interfering with the ball out of the box.
Good look at the leading team's replay. And she gives a cracker shot over to third. Williams trying to double him up. Got her! What a double play. Williams brings it in and then guns down Sarah Tonkin across the diamond.
Great shot there by Megan Williams.
She started the game at first.
To pluck that over and turn a double play. I tell you what, it's almost Murphy's Law. Whenever you make a fielding change, someone comes in, the ball gets hit to you. For Heels, however, with so many fielding changes this inning,
it was going to happen.
It was almost hard to not hit it to someone in a brand new position.
Well, the batty part of the lineup comes up. This is how they scored their run in the same situation in the first inning. Nobody on. Bell White walked, and then Maddie Cameron drove her home.
I tell you what, though, what a clutch double play there by Megan Williams to have Belinda White now come up with 2 out, no one on base. Very different scenario than a Belinda White with even 1 or 2 runners on base.
A very experienced player, Megan.
She didn't miss a beat after she caught that ball, did she?
Mm-hmm. Terrific.
Hill's not going down without a fight. Bell White up the middle. Perez reached for it, and this ball's going to rattle all the way up close towards the wall, but Maddie Rocher had to dive and cut it off, but Belle White is pushing for 3. They'll get the force in there, and Belle White with a triple.
That's just a class act, isn't it? Olympian, like Belle is. Good stop by Maddie Rocher. Got down and got dirty. Stopped the ball going any further.
I tell you what, that was absolutely phenomenal base running by Belinda White. She did not miss a beat. Many other players out there would have even still be standing on first, but she turned that ball all the way into a triple.
Yep.
Out of the box hard the whole way round.
Set up for Maddie to put one over the fence now.
Well,
You heard it here first.
that double play saves a run. Belle White with the triple. And Maddie Cameron goes opposite field.
Not this time.
Behringer moves under it, and they'll leave Belle White stranded. So they flirted with some danger here, Hills, but they have a 3-1 lead. We've played 3. We'll be back. Maddie Rocher leading things off for Hills Heat. Tash Strap still in the circle. 3 runs on the board so far. The last inning, I don't know how many of them will officially go down as earned runs. Good shot from Maddie Rocher, but Maddie Cameron, never really in doubt when Maddie's ranging over like that.
No, Maddie does a good job of making balls look really easy out there. Really good first step, covered a lot of ground. Her job in the outfield, she makes it look super easy, but she covered a lot of ground getting that.
Casual.
Leg speed. That helps, doesn't it?
Leg speed, but also being able to read the ball straight off the bat
Of
and
course.
taking
You
that
combine,
crucial first step rather than sort of waiting to figure it out.
you combine the two, you've got Cameron.
Abby Jorgensen back at the top of the lineup. She's 0 for 2. She struck out once. Flew out towards left field in her last at-bat. One of the leaders in averages. Inside again. Another run here would be handy for Hills. You know Sturt can pile them on in a hurry. And a good hitters count now for Abby Jorgensen. This the top of their lineup. Jorgensen, Ballard, Williams, and Daniels. We've reached about the hour point, or nearly, of the game. So we don't know how many more at-bats this top part of the lineup will have.
Not a bad spot there by Tash. You can see she was probably hoping to get that call. Ooh.
It's a walk. She did. Mr. T literally took the bat out of her hands.
Something that happens metaphorically and literally sometimes in this game.
Can we see the leading team's replay on that? That was funny. I want to see the reaction of Abby Jorgensen as Georgia Ballard steps up to bat. He literally took the bat. Everyone was a little confused what was happening. It wasn't the 3-1 count.
I thought maybe he'd
was a strike?
Well, no, I thought maybe he'd identified like a crack or something on the bat.
Oh.
I don't know. I wasn't sure. His eyesight would be that good, wouldn't it, Mr. T?
Ballard, tough play. Neve Adams gets the hitter out, but that took a funny hop, and she had to climb to bring that one in.
Not unlike that other play that she swooped up, this time overhead. She had time to look at the runner and make the decision to go the ball to throw the ball to first. The ball that bounced sort of gave Abby Georgeson time enough to get to second to break up that double play.
Megan Williams, who is the center of that key double play in the last half inning, on that line shot to third that she got Tonkin then out at first and saved a run. Now can drive in another with a runner in scoring position. Will scored 1 in the second and 2 in the third after conceding the first. Let's look at that hop on the leading team's replay. Williams in play, right back to Strap, so a fairly straightforward inning after a couple innings filled with red for Sturt, so they're back on track. And they've held Hills, and they still only trail by 2. So the game coming after this, it will be live streamed as well. West Torrens and Walkerville. If the result stays the same, it will be the most important game of the season, I suppose.
Yes, it will. Walkerville, if Hills go on and win this game, as Steph mentioned before, Walkerville need to draw at least. They draw, they get 1 point, they go in the 4 spot for the finals. If they don't draw and they get beaten, it's Hills.
So West Torrens can't move up, they can't move down. What is West Torrens' mindset heading into this game?
Going into this game, it's still a really important game. You want to create a bit of momentum and a little bit of positivity moving into finals. So we're treating this almost as like a pre-final final. Oh, Peyton took a bit of a tumble there on that one. Hope she's okay. But we're treating this game almost as a pre-finals finals, an opportunity for us to really start hitting our straps and be ready for the postseason, I suppose. Interesting that we talk about how this game's important, and obviously that next game's extremely important. But it's games throughout the year that you don't think so much about that start to sort of add up to, like for example, that game, Hills and Glenelg had a nil-all draw, you know, for that Pride round a few weeks ago. How crucial those extra points at that time probably didn't feel as pivotal, but now Hills would be doing anything for an extra point, I imagine.
Well, Hills, and with all due respect to Glenelg, they've played teams tough in the second half of the season, respectively, but they're bottom of the table. And Hills, in their last 2 games, only have 1 of a possible 4 points against them. Got to take every team quite seriously, and you can get into a little bit of trouble.
We talk a lot about how premierships aren't won in September or October or November, but I tell you what, to set yourself up for a good postseason, you need to be strong throughout the entire year. Think about peaking at the right time, but do what you need to do to set yourself up for finals.
Can't make the finals in October, but you can sometimes play yourself out of them. Port Adelaide will await whoever the victor is of today, I suppose. I know they're not playing each other, but they'll await one of Hills or Walkerville on Wednesday night in an elimination final. Sturt and West Torrens will play on Saturday night, 1 week from today. And the winner of that game goes straight to the grand final. Deja vu all over again from last year. Tash Straps leadoff walk.
That semi-final last year, Eric, I don't know if you remember it, but it was a cracker going into extra innings.
It was intense.
Mixed emotions about last year's finals on my behalf. Over there, Eric?
Well, that's a big game because you don't want to necessarily face in the finals a team that's riding the momentum of winning that 3-4 game and take your chances in the preliminary final. Much less stressful if you just win that game.
Yes, I agree. Exactly what happened last year. We saw Hills Heat really hit their
They got hot.
They did. Heat got hot right at the right time, and they came from that 4 position, I think, all the way up into that grand final.
Lauren Jury up to bat. We talked about this on the last broadcast as Jury bunts this up in the air. It's caught by Ballard. Runner scampers back, one down. We were discussing how often those 1-2 games end up being one of the best games of the year because both teams, they have nothing to lose, but they have everything to gain. So everyone just kind of goes at each other during that game. You're going for it. Is that kind of accurate from playing in those games?
Yeah, and there's always been quite a bit of build-up to that semi-final. As you see, that ball just scoots away from Georgia Ballard, and
Runner in scoring position.
Yeah, Tash steals that extra base. There is a lot of build-up moving into those semi-finals, and particularly that first game of the finals. There are a lot of nerves. By the time we've gotten through that grand final, everyone's played a few postseason games. They're starting to feel a bit more in that rhythm. But that semi-final has notoriously been quite the pinnacle.
Going back last few seasons, those games always have been really, really tight.
Yeah, and gone are the days where people think about hiding players and playing that sort of strategy. We play enough games against these girls week in, week out over the last years that most teams aren't thinking about hiding. Great foul shot there by Beck Jury.
Well, you would have looked at it last year, and Sturt probably would have identified West Torrens as their #1 challenger towards another premiership, and Sturt beat West Torrens in that qualifying final, and then West Torrens didn't make it to the grand final. So sometimes that has a little flow-on effect from knocking that team out. You've seen that with Walkerville a couple years ago. They hid one of their players in that game, in the 1-2 game, and that came back to hurt. Anything can happen, especially when it comes to finals softball. Beck Jury down on strikes. That is the second strikeout of the day for Tash Straps. Maddie Ashby, runner in scoring position. Sturt trying to maneuver their way back closer. Port Adelaide are going to be a dangerous team in the finals competition too. They started off hot, had a slump in the middle of the season, but they finished fairly strong. And they've got a whole lot of players back and ready to go, eh, Lee?
They certainly have. So it'll be interesting to see who they play next Wednesday evening. Because Johanna Grau will be down, so they'll be going with their gun.
Port Adelaide have found a little bit of pitching depth, though, this season. Picking up Liz, an American. They've got, obviously, young Charlotte Dobrowski, who's done quite a bit of work for them this season. So they've got options there in the pitching mound, but you can't really go past Johanna Grauer out of UCLA Bruins.
That slips away. A runner is going to move all the way to third. Tash Straps has a peek, but she'll stay there.
Tash over there at third base. Obviously looking to score, but down by 2 runs. She recognises that it's not worth her getting picked up when Sturt need to score a couple runs to get themselves back on the books. So she's going to, 1 out, she's going to be heads-up base running over there, but nothing too risky.
Maddie Ashby in the air. Going to be unplayable. That goes foul. And all those finals that we're talking about start this Wednesday night, and it happens fast. Wednesday, Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday. In the course of 10 days, a 6-month season comes to a dramatic conclusion. Ashby swings through a strikeout from Peyton Daniels. She gets back-to-back strikeouts, Peyton Daniels, to end the inning. And how's the effort from Peyton Daniels in relief to keep a dangerous lineup? She's now faced 8 batters. She has allowed just the triple to Belle White, but that's the only hit that she's allowed.
Yeah, well, we talked about how hot Heat got last year at the end of the season, and Peyton Daniels was a huge contributor to that. Not necessarily in the circle, but defensively and as a hitter, she really knows how to step up for big moments.
Well, Peyton Daniels will get a chance to do it with the bat. We'll take a quick break and be back with the conclusion of this game.
I might go now then.
Back at the ballpark, Peyton Daniels steps in the batter's box. Steph Trzynski has to go get ready to play, either hit or pitch or both. We don't know. We'll find out. And everyone will find out when we watch the live stream next. So it's just Lee Hull and Eric Ballnar taking you home the rest of the way. But I'll tell you what, Lee, this Hills team haven't won a game in 2022. They played 8 or 9 games. They haven't won one of them.
Well, they've done everything in their power to win this one, I can tell you. They have really knuckled down. They're doing everything right. Double plays, anything you like, they're going to come up with it.
There's still a little bit to go here, so they're not home yet. Daniels, hard play, Neve Adams. How good she being over at third base.
Yeah, her arm is what beats you normally. She's thrown one over the top today, but that happens with everybody.
The next half inning is going to be very telling in this game. Rachel Tonkin will lead things off, and then the big boppers of Sturt are going to get a chance to make one last impression on this game.
That'll be it, one last impression, and they can, a side like Sturt can. They'll come out and they'll be mean and tough.
So the question is 3 runs enough?
It won't be if Sturt are going. So one here would be handy, make it 4-1. Still a way to go, though, with one out. Batters 5, 6, and 7.
Up towards the crowd, or to the shortstop, sorry, the crowd. Bell White makes the play.
Sasha Penglayers.
She was part of those swarm of substitutions back in the 3rd inning. Well, a quick inning here for Hills, a lot of early swinging. And they seem to have settled down nice defensively right now, Tash Straps and Sturt. So, Lee, we've got, it's 3:10. We should be able to get another inning in here. We're going to play 6, I would dare to say here.
I think this is the innings, isn't it? You mentioned it, Eric. This is the innings.
But Rachel Tonkin leading things off, Sarah Tonkin, Neve Adams, and if they have a runner on base, if they can just get one of those first 3 on base.
And one long shot.
And then it's a tie game
up, yep.
For that middle of the lineup. Hills will be looking to keep them at bay. It feels almost inevitable, though, that Bell White and Maddie Cameron will get another at-bat in this game. And that might be what decides it, because they've been the ones generating the offense so far. Bell White with a walk and a triple. Maddie Cameron had a deep fly ball and a double that scored the only run of the game. So you circle them in the middle of the lineup.
Yeah, and both Bell and Maddie have come in with 2 out.
Yeah.
Both times they've had to turn a bat. They come in with a couple of people on, look out.
So Peyton Daniels, who came in relief of Chantel Lewis, has allowed the triple to Bell White, but you almost just cross off Bell White from the list, and you almost exclude her from the stats because bit of an anomaly. But other than that, just the walk and back-to-back strikeouts when she had a runner in scoring position in that last inning. Defense has been big. They've got a couple double plays today. That big one from Megan Williams a couple innings ago, and now Peyton Daniels starting to dial it in. But this is going to be a meaty part of the lineup, and Rachel Tonkin can hurt you in a few different ways, and she was trying to show running bunt.
This is a very important turn at bat for Rach. She gets on, things can capitulate from there.
Up high.
Disciplined batter like her sister, isn't she, Rachel? Don't chase bad pitches.
Guided down low.
And then, of course, with the new pitcher in Peyton, she comes to face the big guns, starting with Sarah and Neve and Bell and Maddie, as you said. You get nervous because you pitch them so carefully. All of a sudden, you've walked a couple. Now the big guns, White and Cameron, come in with a couple on. Yeah, makes it tough.
It's a lineup that kind of puts literally fear into opposing lineups or batters, pitchers.
That's right, yep.
We got there.
See, disciplined turn at bat, wasn't it? Excellent turn at bat. Base on balls.
Now it gets interesting. Sarah Tonkin, one of 3 players hitting above 300 on this Sturt lineup. As a team, they're hitting just a little over 300.
She's such a good batter. The team situation should bunt, but I don't think they will.
Slips away.
That's
she doesn't need to.
That's right. That's what I'm getting back to what I was saying with the new pitcher in Peyton. She'll be nervous. She'll be aware of the quality of these people batting now, and she knows she's got a job in her hand.
Runner in scoring position. Sarah Tonkin, been on the state team for a few years now and will continue to do so. She is a threat.
Yep. A lot of balls coming here. It's where the catcher, Georgia Ballard's got to get right behind Peyton. Just keep going, that's it. Good work.
Looked like Tonkin was taken all the way.
Yep. See, and you've got to play your outfield deep for people like Sarah because she'll hit it a long way.
It's off towards left field. It could be a difficult one to track, and it is. Tonkin's going to drive in a run. She's going to round second. She's going to make a play for 3. It'll be a play close. It slips away, and Tonkin will stand at third, and the lead is cut in half. Well,
it all started with Rachel Tonkin, the turn at bat, wasn't it? Crucial part of the game. It's our last chance for the big guns to have a go.
now the tying run comes to plate, and time will start to become a factor in this inning if they don't start to get some outs in a hurry.
Yep.
A tie does no good. They're going to show a bunt. Wow. With a runner on third in a 3-2 game.
Was a squeeze.
It was. With Neve Adams and Belle White and Maddie Cameron are coming up.
And the important thing is with the squeeze play, Eric, is that you need to get bat on ball. If they've thrown the pitch out, throw your bat at the ball, let the bat go, just so you don't get your runner killed at the plate.
Catching going to be crucial here for Georgia Ballard. Last game of the minor rounds. Hills need to win. If they win, they'll temporarily move in to that last final spot. Can they squeak in?
Well, they've given themselves every possible chance, haven't they? They've played a terrific game to this stage. But I can tell you, this girl can hit the ball hard. She makes it land. There's the tying run. And still going with none out.
Hard swing, and it's just going to be a loud strike. A strikeout would go down well right here.
What you can't do, Neve, here is go down looking. Be the first out of this innings, but you can't go down looking. Play a shot here, girl.
Adams up the middle. It's going to be a tough one to play. Perez across. She's safe. Runner does not score.
Excellent running from Neve Adams then, wasn't it? It looked like she was going to be put out easy, but she made it.
So now the go-ahead run is on first base. Only 9 minutes until time of game would be called as well.
Timeout score by Coach
Ooh, it's
Apolsky.
a dicey game to play, isn't it? Wow. They will be flirting with time fairly soon. Hills, a draw does no good for them either. Protecting that run at third is crucial. Lee, do you consider walking Belle White just to try to put a force on? Or is putting two runners in scoring position just dangerous?
Yeah, well,
this is tricky.
It is. It's decisions to be made by the coaching staff, but I personally, I would send the runner through here and see if she can get caught in the trap play. And that's Neve, and see if he can Sarah, because Sarah's no slow couch.
So if
she
you
can run.
If you already know that they might be trying to steal anyways, which would be a common play here, and you wouldn't need to protect that run, do you just offer up Belle White and say, let's not even put the bat in her hands, take gamble with Cameron and see how you go? They're going to try the throw across, so they're going to cut off in time.
That's all right. Played it well.
So now a runner on second.
Now there's no pressure on White and Cameron. There's none out.
So do you walk
the big
her?
thing. Well, you can walk her now. Oh, no. Okay. Perhaps they're going to wait till she gets on and Maddie walk Maddie.
That slips away. Runner having a think.
Oh.
Tonkin would have been home.
Yeah, Georgia just threw the ball back, hoping someone was there, and it just nearly got away from Peyton.
Hills had the 3-1 lead, and now with no outs, 2 runners in scoring position. Slips away. This time, Tonkin's going to scamper home, and this ball game is tied. And Hills, who were on the live ladder in that last spot, have tumbled back out, and now time has become the enemy. Wow. A draw is no bueno. Although the Walkerville Cats will be looking at this and celebrating as runners are now on the corners. Well, Maddie Cameron has a double and an RBI here. She can potentially end Hill's season with a crack of the bat. Cameron watches that in. Belle White will saunter over to second. That ball gets thrown away. Wow, flirting with danger.
It's even the just upper part of the body, I think, in the back, top.
Again, this just eating away some crucial seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Cameron up high.
See, it's pressure, isn't it? What I said about before, you know, you get people on base and you got the big guns batting. You pitch very carefully. Well, you try to. She's trying her best, Peyton.
Now a few balls on Cameron and 5 minutes until time of game.
And there's none out still.
Cameron was taken all the way.
And see, this is disciplined batting, isn't it? The pressure's back on the defense, back on the pitcher, the young pitcher. Come in.
Cameron up high. Ballard trying to make a play, and that's a big
Good
out.
out.
First out. And a big groan from Maddie Cameron.
Excellent out from Georgia. They're not easy.
Now they need 2 outs in a hurry. Tash Straps up to bat.
Got to take her time, Tash.
Do you consider walking Tash Straps? Get the force out?
Maybe. No, I don't think so. I think Tash should just go full count here if she can. Just put more pressure on.
Swings at the pitch towards left field.
Score a run.
Is it going to score a run?
It will.
Runner will tag up, and Sturt have the lead. Job done from Tash Straps. Now, Hills need an out in a hurry. There's still time. They need this out right now on Lauren Jury to get another chance to bat, but it is now 4-3 to Sturt. 3 runs in the inning. Lauren Jury needs another patient at bat.
Does. Small strike zone, take advantage of it here, Lauren. She can crack one. She'll hit a ball deep left field if it goes anywhere.
The inning started off with a walk to Tonkin and then the triple, and the ball squirts to the outfield. My goodness.
Well, I don't think I'm going to pick off there. I know the runner was down. It was Bell. Bell just tested her out. Georgia, the catcher.
Jury to the outfield. They need to make this catch. They do. So they won't call time. They should get another in there. Just 2 minutes to go. And Hills looks like they're going to get another bat to try to salvage their season. So Hills literally in the nick of time make that last out.
Yeah, and it was into the sun. You could see the fielder out there was really, it was ebony.
We've played 5. We'll see you for the final inning. Well, it's coming down to the wire. Hills had a 3-1 lead, but Sturt have just scored 3 of their own in the bottom of the 5th. Just in the nick of time, we will play the inning, but only 3 outs that the Heat have left in their season. They need to score 2 runs. 1 run, while it would extend the game, it does no good in extending the Hills Heat season. They've put up a magical fight tonight, but Ebony Behringer tries to get aboard. Tash Straps, only the one earned run in the game so far. The third had a barrage of errors, including one from Belinda White, who had one go through her legs, and that made it a 3-1 game. And it's a hit over towards the right side. Tonkin makes the play, 1 down.
Reliable Rachel, isn't she?
Mackenzie Ween. If they can string together some hits, Jorgensen and Ballard, very capable hitters at the top of this lineup, but it's the 7, 8, 9 part of the order for Hills. Ween got subbed in the 3rd inning, swings at the first pitch. This one drifts back and foul. Dangerous times, Lee.
Yeah, it certainly is, Eric.
Ween patient, has that drop in the dirt.
And that's what Tash has to be here, patient. Just let him hit you. Let it use your field. You've got a very good field behind you. Just let him hit it.
And there's a shot towards
That's
left field. It's going to
ball.
get over the outfielder. And Mackenzie Ween, the substitute, is going to round 2. She's going to push for 3. And Mackenzie Ween is called out at 3rd. As quickly as she gets on, they gut her down. And that might be the nail in the coffin. Here's a look at the play. It's going to be tight, and she is gunned down. Neve Adams applying the tag.
Terrific outfield work and relay work, wasn't it? That was the only difference. Lovely shot from Kenzie. She'll be disappointed. Don't be disappointed, girl. That was a great piece of the ball.
What a tag applied. And now Hills down to their last out. Rocher has a piece, 2 strikes.
Can bat Matty Rocher.
Walkerville watching down the first base line anxiously. They play next, but they might already have punched their ticket by the time the first pitch is thrown in that game. Let's find out. Rocher in play. White at short, and it's a high throw, called safe. She was off the bag, and Hills continue to have a heartbeat. The throw errant, and I think that's the second error from Belinda White.
Yeah, a bit too much time to think about it, I think, wasn't it, for Bill?
Maddie Ashby scooped up. She landed down in time. She just didn't land on the bag, the leading team's replay shows. Abby Jorgensen 0 for 2 with a walk. Well, that would have scored a run. Nah, maybe not. If she stayed at second, if she wasn't tagged out.
Yeah.
Could have scored a run.
Ifs, buts, and candy nuts. It's been a great game, though, isn't it?
Really
great
has.
Game to call.
That slips away, and that'll put a runner in scoring position. Again, that run important, but doesn't really matter. It's this one, represented by Abby Jorgensen. That's the important one in the context of the Hill season.
She needs to get on, Abby, doesn't she?
She needs to get on, and she needs to score.
Yep. One thing at a time.
Jorgensen swings through, and again, down to their final strike. Tash Straps, the pitcher in the circle, might be called upon heavily in the finals. We'll find out. Here we go. And she's down on strikes. And Sturt come from behind and finish their season with a win. And Hills, that's how it'll come to an end. A dramatic game, but Sturt end up the winners. And Abby Jorgensen strikes out looking to end it.
But what a good game. Gave it everything, didn't they? Right to the very end. Long shot from Mackenzie Ween. You thought, she gets safe here, go from there, get it draw, then keep working around it. It didn't happen. Beaten by some really good outfield and some terrific relay throws. Got her out at third, which was unfortunate for the team, for the Hills team, but they gave everything. So hold your heads up high, girls. It was a fantastic effort.
They
Sturt, they
fought
just
to the
found
death,
it.
didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And where Hills had their bottom part of their lineup, Sturt had their top part, didn't they? That was probably the difference in that particular innings.
It was
half innings.
Yep. It all came down to one, and usually those small things make a big difference. Well, Lee, final takeaways. What can we expect here from Sturt? A week today, they'll be playing in that qualifying final.
Well, I think they're the favourite, aren't they? I think it goes without saying. They finished top. They've got, as we've mentioned before, Eric, all bases covered. Got the pitching covered. They've got three choices. Millie gets well again, fit again, and they've got Ruby, we saw last week, and they've got Tash. So they've got plenty of ammunition to fire at the opposition. I think they're the favourite. I still pick West Torrens, so I'm sticking with my gun.
You think the drought's going to end?
Well, yeah, I think so. But I may be way off the mark. Time will tell.
Time will tell. Well, that will do it for game number one. We have a second game coming up. West Torrens, that you just mentioned, playing Walkerville, who can breathe a little easy now, Walkerville, because they're going to be playing in the finals on Wednesday night. On behalf of Steph Drzezinski, Lee Hull, and producer Jono at Spacequake Sports, this is Eric Ballner saying good afternoon, and we'll see you soon.